Welcome back, everyone, to It's Dangerous to Go Alone. I'm Lily Bread, and I'm here with a Splat Droid. You can just call me Lily Droid. We have a very interesting situation here. I'm looking at the current Swiss scores actually, and regarding who's going to be moving into Top Cut, we definitely have actually a four-way tie, and one of these teams is going to have to be knocked out of a potential top cut, out of Obsequious Omnivore, Grandiose Grandchild, Oddly Cobweb, and Bilowy Barber. So this is definitely going to be an interesting match of all time. It could definitely come down to this between Obsequious Omnivore and Bilowy Barber here. So, Droid, over to you. What do we reckon of these rosters here, of these possible weapon choices?
I'm very surprised by the rapid pro deco one trick. I know it's been coming into the meta, but wow, just playing that's going to be exciting to see, because I really like seeing some good players playing on that, and it could work really well in some map modes.
Oh, absolutely. And having like a rapid pro deco definitely provides a very good answer actually to the inkjet meta as well. And I've seen like quite a few games where once you have that pressure on the inkjet, you can actually start to make some very significant plays off the back of that. Now, we will be seeing, however, the map modes come in. Flounder Heights, Clam Blitz. I like Flounder Heights, Clam Blitz. Do you like Flounder Heights, Clam Blitz, Troy?
Yeah, I think that's a really good one, and it'll be. It seems like I saw on the team of Bilowy Barber, they had a carbon and brush player, and they'll be really good on Flounder over here with clams, because they'll be able to go around wherever they want with all the paintable walls, and it'll be really good for them.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like we are getting into the game right now. So we will be seeing actually a fairly short range comp happening against the team against Bilowy Barber, which does have the ballpoint. However, but having like Ferrari on the as their basically inkjet weapon on the tri-soldier, I reckon is a fantastic choice, especially here when you've got all those ledges, all those walls to really play off. It does look like they are attempting to control the top mid area because those fizzy bombs coming out just to try and apply some pressure here. But I do think with two players going down, it does look like Bilowy Barber is finding an opportunity to push back up, but two players go down on the side of Bilowy Barber here. So this might be a chance for Obsequious Omnivores to make something of a headway. It's still a fairly neutral game, and three players have gone down on Obsequious Omnivores, but I reckon Bilowy Barber might be able to make a play off of this trade.
Yeah, they're trying to go off of that triple on Omnivores, but they couldn't really do that, and the try stops them really. And now there's three down on Bilowy Barber, and just the knot left, and they get camped. And so now Obsequious Omnivores has control of the map. They have that cooler. They're ready to get back in. And somebody does trade with the brush, which is a good trade, because they were able to keep them back without getting more than one of them dying, even though they were jumped. And they pick up another and have complete control of the top mid, and just need the clams to push up really, and a little bit more paint, Lily.
Yeah, we do see them getting it answered by that machine there, and also following up on top of that Booyah bomb as well. So it doesn't look like they'll be making much of a play off of that. They do have the power clam though, but they might just be struggling just a little bit at this moment to be able to make a comeback. We haven't seen a significant push just yet, with both teams really trying to find their opening here. Droid does look like, however, I do think that with the amount of clams that Omnivores have been able to pick up here, they might be able to make something work off of this.
Yeah, and they just picked off the try, which will stop them from being sharked and like get a pick on them. And the brush is trying to stop the one player from going all the way to the basket, and somehow they're still alive. They pick off a couple, and it's just the brush left. So they're definitely, if they have enough clams here, they can get a push off of that. And there's a super clam from the blaster, and they just have to fight that brush and coming in, and they get another pick, which is very valuable, so their team can get a few more with that ledge. But they don't have any more clams. There were not clams available. So then it's just a couple of trades, and they're going back and forth, trying to keep them back while there's just a few clams that they can use at all, Lily.
Yeah, the NZAP only had the last 2 clams they could possibly have put into the basket, getting that score down to 62. Not the biggest push of all time, but that has been 3 minutes of gameplay we've pretty much seen so far, and having that score might make or break whether they win or lose. I have to say, as we've seen in previous Clam Blitz games, Weef on the Inkjet here trying to clear out that area as well, trying to stop them from being able to push in even further. 2 players that have gone down on Omnivores, and Bilowy Barber is definitely trying to find a way back into the top mid area. Constantly, I think, getting pushed off by the Omnivores as they get picked off as well.
Yeah, Omnivores is holding that mid really well and keeping them back. Getting just the 1 pick at a time is keeping Bilowy Barber from getting anywhere past the mid, and that Booyah Bomb's not helping the Barber at all. But there is 3 down on Omnivores now, and they can get control of mid if they just have the clams and the pressure. They just need to get this player all the way back, wait for the cooler. They are ready. They take down the NZAP, but 3 go down on Bilowy Barber from maybe that might have been a bomb or the inkjet. That was a really good triple there.
Yeah, they were getting into some tough spots there, and I did see that, like, when you have that chicken thrown up into that corner on top of the ramp is definitely a tricky thing. We see the wipeout happening. Bilowy Barber is all the way down, and Obsequious Omnivores just finding the clams they need. They know that they want to push in these last 40 seconds. They want to make sure they can get this lead even safer than they have, but they're in a very good spot here. They've set up around the top of the ramp. They have their Booyah Bomb in. They're going to be supporting the rest of their team from to be able to really make a play here. Getting that power climb in, they have the bubble. Everything's going to be going really well. It is going swimmingly for Omnivores at the moment in these last 20 seconds, but Bilowy Barber, they are trying desperately to try and come back from this. Getting a great pick on Weef with 3 players going down on Omnivores. They might be able to take something to overtime, and they are starting to push back up, but they have to get their first push of the game in here, and it doesn't look like they have the pity clam to do that, unfortunately, which means that they won't be taking that game into overtime.
Yeah, they barely didn't get the pity clam there. The timer was right next to going down, and they didn't have that opportunity because the other one was not still there from earlier. And that was just very unfortunate. There weren't enough clams available for them to make a super clam at the end to try one last time.
Yeah, so Omnivore does manage to take that first game. We are seeing, we did see like a fairly stally first few minutes of this game, I have to say, but like once they started getting their footing, once they started being able to position exactly where they wanted to, definitely managed to not just get 1 pretty good push in, but a second fantastic push all the way down to 22 with the help of the Booyah Bombs as well. Definitely difficult for Bilowy Barber to try and push back from anyway, even if they did manage to get the wipeout in the last few seconds.
Yeah, they barely were able to. They got that second push, which really just completely secured that win afterwards. And they had control of the mid, so there wasn't really. And they didn't even have the clams, so they kept throwing in the clams slow enough to where the pity would not appear in time, and that must have been planned out because that was very good timing for them.
Yeah, it was a very, very well timed push. Bilowy Barber definitely has to be thinking about Omnivore's gameplay here and try to find some kind of answer to what they have been running in the next match. Now we will be going to zones on Sturgeon's Shipyard. Now this is another one which has quite a lot of high ground area that can be very, very powerful once you start capping the zone. Droid, what do you think of this map mode?
Sturgeon zones will be very good for the Tri-Slosher. It might be a bit of a weird one, but I feel like that one always just moves around really well on that. So that will be, I feel like they'll be able to take advantage of that. And the Inkjets are always really good, and the ballpoint will be able to hold the spinner really well there. And we might see that Rapid Blaster Pro Deco coming out from Bilowy Barber to counter the Inkjets on this map. Since it's not clams, they can actually use it a little bit better maybe here.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the amount of range you get off that particular blaster, it can definitely be something that can pressure the spinner, overlooking the other team's court as well, just to have that pressure going. Does look like actually we're seeing a double splash comp. This isn't something we've seen for a long time, Droid.
Yeah, the double splash returns every now and then. We see it again. It's like a reminder of how meta used to be like for like 8 months straight, and it's nice to see it again. It's not as annoying as it used to be, and there's instantly 2 down on Bilowy Barber because that blaster got really good shots on them. And it's 3 down, and they have control of the mid. They got the zone really fast and are just ready. The brush is just waiting for the teammates, having to paint, just waiting for an opportune moment, Lily.
Yeah, I gotta say we are seeing a great position from the Inkjet as well, just overlooking the court and trying to get some picks, but unfortunately they do go down there. I have to say, however, they do have a crab tank online. If they can get into position just on top of the spinner or somewhere where they aren't easily contested, they can definitely make a big play off of that. Unfortunately, they do go down. However, 2 players have got, both buckets have gone down on the side of Obsequious Omnivores, but they're still holding this zone. Bilowy Barber definitely has to try and come back off of this, and it's difficult for them. It is difficult for them trying to have to deal with these bombs and this chip damage coming up from the wave breaker. I do think in the last few seconds, Obsequious Omnivores might be able to actually hold this just for long enough to take the game, but it looks like the zone gets neutralized, and unfortunately for Bilowy Barber, Omnivore manages to take the zone at the very end. We can see just looking at that end screen here, that Obsequious Omnivores didn't even need to move back much at all, and were constantly applying pressure over Bilowy Barber's court, over their spinners, over any time that they wanted to try and break out. Omnivore was right there to stop them.
Those bombs and chip damage really kept Bilowy Barber from going anywhere at all. Like, the Octobrush couldn't go anywhere because there was not enough paint for them and they were left behind. And yeah, it didn't really work out. And the machine and range were able to combo off of each other a couple times and just be able to push up really far. And the bomb placements were just ready at the end there. That bomb on top of the snipe really stopped the NZAP from going anywhere with it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Do want to mention very quickly that there was recently a giveaway from the Off the Dial shop. You can go there and check that out. Also, definitely something worth checking out as well. If you want to support Off the Dial, they have some really cool, fantastic, fun merch as well. There is an announcement in chat as well. So if you go to shop.otd.inc/redeem, you can it does look like Kaiser Sukapu actually won the gift of a non-sticker bundle, so congrats for winning that giveaway. But also definitely a fantastic way to support Off the Dial as well, and to get some really cool, fun, good looking merch as well that I really like very much. We will actually just wanted to mention that just briefly, but we are actually going to be going soon into the final map mode for this set, which is Manta Maria Rainmaker. Now, Droid, we saw Manta Maria previously. I find that Rainmaker here can definitely, like, if you have your first push to that first checkpoint, I do find that it can be a very, very quick push to the final checkpoint. But what's your experiences here?
I feel like it's always kind of a stall sometimes, actually, after the first checkpoint, unless they get that unless they keep getting the picks, because it's actually a pretty good defensive spot for some kinds of weapons, like with fall off or AoE and stuff. So, and with the machine, that'll definitely be useful for them to hold down right behind the checkpoint, so they can't really get past that unless they go around or go above.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be seeing actually an ink brush coming out from the side of Omnivores, as well as an Octobrush on the side of Bilowy Barber. These could be some very good weapons, I believe, to try and clear out certain areas, to be able to make sure that it's very difficult for the other team to try and contest where each team really wants to be taking it. No one has picked up the Rainmaker just yet. 2 plays have gone down on the side of Obsequious Omnivores, and Bilowy Barber is really trying to take control of mid here. We're getting great pick on Ferrari with the Inkjet, and the Inkjet looking around for another pick over here on the left-hand side. It does look like 2 plays have gone down on Omnivores, so this could be where Bilowy Barber picks up the Rainmaker droid.
Yeah, they're able to get that checkpoint, it seems, without the machine being able to contest because there's just too many bombs coming in from that Octave Rush. But they do go down, and that's 3 down on Bilowy Barber, so they don't seem to be able to get past that checkpoint at all. So Omnivores is going to just be taking control of the mid, and the Ink Rush is just trying to hold a spot, trying to shark in different places. They go for the right checkpoint, which is actually pretty smart because nobody really expects that very often. So they got that in the bag, got that. Seems that they'll be able to get that lead, get it all the way down to at least 40 here, and the Booyah Bomb coming out. And that's 3 down on Bilowy Barber, and that's the game, and that's KO for Omnivores. That was a very fast. You were definitely right about that.
Yeah. It's one of those games where if you manage to take it around to the right checkpoint and just happen to have the support from the rest of your team, you can just run that in a straight line all the way to the very end, which we saw them do there. And congrats also to the teams Obsequious Omnivore and also Bilowy Barber. It does look like Omnivore will be going into, I believe Omnivore will be the one that will be going into top cut, considering that 4-way tie that we mentioned earlier between Obsequious Omnivore, Grandiose Grandchild, Cowardly Cobweb, and Bilowy Barber.
Yeah, that last 3-0 will definitely get them to the top cut for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we will be passing it over to our analysts who will be discussing in detail these matches for sure. This has been a very good, amazing set, I gotta say. To be commentating with you, Droid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Droid, by the way, before we head off, where can we find you on the internet?
I can be found on Twitter and YouTube at SplatDroid, exactly how it's spelled on the screen right there. Yeah. Where can we find you, Lily?
And I'm a streamer as well. I stream mainly on Twitch, and I'm around on Twitter as well. You can follow me both places at Lily Gravy Bread. That is Lili Gravy Bread, all one word. I stream from time to time as well, so it'd be great to see you there too. Anyway, Droid, that's going to be it from us. We'll be passing it over to our analysts Kirby and Rice soon, but we'll be seeing you around. And also to the viewers watching, stick around because there is much more to come for the rest of this It's Dangerous to Go Alone.
Welcome back, everyone. If you guys haven't been around, we are the Analysis, so we're here to just talk about the games that just happened. I'm Kirby, and my partner is Rice.
Yeah, hello. We had a really this set determined who made it to top cut out of these two teams, and clearly, Omnivores showed that they really wanted to make that top cut. Taking all 3 games in this set. We go into our first game, which is Flounder, Clemblitz, and we see that surprisingly in Splatoon, there is only one shooter on this whole map.
Yes, there were a lot of buckets. A lot of some blasters around too. Like no shooters. Like no one wanted to play shooters today.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm sure this was mainly a map pick because we all know sloshers thrive on ledges and places with a lot of elevation. Same thing with the Octobrush. I think Octobrush was definitely one of the biggest players for Bilo the Barber team.
Yeah, and especially like that Octobrush is playing some really good defense, and right here they were able to stay alive for quite a long time while their teammates, all three of their teammates, were respawning in, and it was very cool to notice that like yeah they were able to stay alive and for a majority of it.
Yeah, but we do see that Omnivores did get that first push, and they're not letting up aggression. Although they don't have this backline, they have 3 bombs to throw around to just try to hold back the side of the Barber team, while on the side of the Barber on the side of the BB team, they had Inkjet, they had Zipcaster, they had a lot of specials also to play off of. So that's why I just feel like this game was in neutral for a lot of this, most of the game.
Yeah, those bombs, especially in all 3 of the matches, were just being a big pain for Bilowy Barber. Like they were just everywhere. They could not catch a break from seeing a bomb right where, like everywhere. There was just a bomb.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think about that. Even like, although backline is great on, I think Flounder, that's a different story. But as we do move on to this next game, we actually see 0 shooters on the side of Omnivores, and the Barbers bringing out the double splash.
That brought some flashbacks. Lots. All those splashes. That was something I have not seen in a little while.
Yeah, but even though the Barber team had double splash, it's actually Omnivores who took this game, and I think for the reason is because they played extremely aggressive really early. They knew they could not outpaint the other team, so they just made sure the other team just couldn't even touch the zone.
Yeah, and there were bombs and like chip damage everywhere. Wave breaker, somebody wanted to get in, nah, there's a bomb in the way. Like there's everywhere they looked, once again, there was a bomb.
Yeah, but moving on to this next game, Rainmaker on Manta Maria. This time actually, Barbers got the first push in actually, and they went in on a very good advantage state, but unable to really push past that first checkpoint. While on the side of Omnivores, once they took that first checkpoint, they kept that pressure up and just kept running it.
Yeah, and it was very like interesting to see them take the right side checkpoint. It's as the commentator said, it's not very often you see that.
Yeah, right side checkpoint is very dangerous, and I think we're just seeing a little more replays from that first game. The first game was definitely the most back and forth, and we could just see that the Omnivores really, again, as I said earlier, they wanted to make that top cut. They did not want to go home after that set.
Yes, and I don't know if the commentator said this, but they both the teams were fighting to get into top cut. There was a 4-way tie, I believe, to get into some of the top cut places, and yeah, Omnivore really wanted it so badly they decided to take the whole set.
Yeah. All right. There's not too much left of this set to talk about, but let's talk about what this tournament is. What is IDTGA? It stands for It's Dangerous to Go Alone. It is a free agent tournament for all skill levels. Anyone can register for the tournament, and you sign up alone. This is a solo tournament.
Yes, I remember getting into the competitive Splatoon community through this tournament, and I'm very glad it's very open to like all skill levels, from the lowest of ranks to the highest of ranks. It's open to just about everyone.
Yeah, even if you're not S rank or X rank, there are brackets for lower level players. We are looking at power bracket, but they do have courage bracket and wisdom bracket, which are for lower skill level players. So it's very open to anyone who's interested in getting into competitive or just want to learn a little more and improve at this game.
Yeah, and learning to talk to other teammates that you've never spoken to before. Good to get to know people and a little bit of like how the competitive side works.
Yeah, and moving further, like, what if I do sign up for It's Dangerous to Go Alone, Kirby? How do they balance the teams?
Wow, great you ask, because I did help with balancing the teams. So a lot of the teams are done through a lot of your solo ranks, and then as well as your competitive experience, play styles, how often you've played in this tournament, and then a little bit of your time zones as well, making sure you're not paired with somebody from each of the different continents. But a lot of it's going into rank and your experience, and as well as your playstyle, to make sure we're not getting 4 E leaders on the same team, and not like having an X rank with a C plus with a S. It's all balanced teams, just like how we split it into different brackets as well. And so making sure like almost every game is like can go anyway. It's not usually not usually geared towards one team.
Yeah, for sure. I know I played this tournament once before, and I've had a great experience just working with new people and like getting to know like other people from the competitive scene. Like back then, I know I was really new to competitive Splatoon, and this tournament gave me a lot of experiences that I took into the future in my competitive career.
Yes. As well, yeah, we talked. All right. Rice, do you have anywhere we can find you?
They can find me at We Like Rice. It's on the screen right now. It's all one word. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch with that handle. And how about you, Kirby? Where can the fine people find you?
I'm mostly just around on Discord. My tag is actually 52 Kirby's. You can find me around there, lurking around in some Splatoon competitive servers.
And that'll be it for us for a little bit for right now. But we will be transitioning to Top Cut as we are starting the seeding process. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a little bit.